Hey everyone, how are you doing? Today we are going to rate the Pyro characters. So let's not waste any more time and instead let's rate some characters. Alright, we are going to start with Ember. Although I think it's kind of unfair to rate Ember for her Pyro vision because in my opinion Ember's best build is physical, 2 piece of Bloodstained Chivalry and 2 piece of Pale Flame. Her C1 allows her to fire 2 arrows with her charge attacks. I know some of you might be thinking that, but he said physical Ember, why would she use her charge attacks for physical Ember? Well, let me enlighten you guys a little. There is a mechanic called Machine Gun, and in my opinion, Ember is the best candidate to take advantage of that mechanic because of her C1 by cancelling her charge attacks to deal physical damage instead of pyro damage. It is a hard mechanic to get used to in my opinion, but also a very efficient way of playing Ember right now. So for that reason, I will rate Ember S tier. Okay, next up is Bennett, S tier. I think everybody would agree on this, especially when he has his C1. His C1 removes the limitation of his attack buff. Without C1, your characters need to be 70% HP to receive the attack buff from Bennett's burst, but C1 removes that limitation and allows you to have the attack buff. So yeah, S tier, and I believe that Bennett will always stay as an S tier character. We now move on to Dia. Oh dear, how I wish this was a waifu tier list so that I could rate her as an S tier character, but unfortunately it is not. C tier. Her kit doesn't make any sense. To this day, I am still hoping that we will get some characters that will make her good, just like how Cookie Shinobu was kind of a niche character until the release of Sumeru and the element Dendro. Well, look at her now, she's probably an S tier sport when it comes to Dendro reactions. At the time of recording this though, I cannot rate Dia any higher than C. Okay, next up is Diluc, the Knight of Power Creep. Man, this guy was power crept to the ground since 1.0. Diluc has some good constellations, but even then, I don't think he is a top tier DPS anymore. His C1 allows him to deal 15% more damage to enemies that are above 50% HP. Now, I think this is an okay first constellation, but I think it could have been better if it was 15% more damage to enemies that are above 75% HP, or 25% more damage to enemies above 50% HP. His C2 on the other hand is quite good in my opinion. Diluc gains 10% attack and 5% attack speed when he takes damage, and you can stack these buffs up to 3 times for 10 seconds, resulting in 30% attack and 15% attack speed. With that being said, I will rate him B+ for now. I think if we were to get a Claymore that gives crit damage stat and elemental mastery passive, I can see him being an A tier character. Okay, let's move on to Director Gu. She's got 2 playstyles. You can either build Shimenava and prioritize your normal and charged attacks, while your burst being limited due to energy drain mechanic, or you can build Crimson Witch and have slightly less normal and charge attack damage while having no limitation to your burst. I built my Huta with Crimson Witch and I think her damage is amazing and she probably is the best Pyro DPS we have right now. So I will place her in the S tier. Next up is Lil Klee. Okay, even though Klee is a main DPS, I think her best build is TTDS plus Noblesse Oblige. But that is if you have C2. Her C2 allows her to shred enemies' defense by 23% if you damage them with your elemental skill. So for that reason, I think Klee is a better support than a main DPS, and I will place her in the A tier when I could place her in the B tier for her DPS version. Alright, I'll keep Thoma brief because he's a pretty straightforward character. Up until the point Dendro was released, Thoma was quite the niche character. I myself only played him with Futa, so I could give her some sort of shield and also have the Pyro resonance. But boy, is his Burgeon team amazing now. Dendro really helped characters like Tome and Cookie Shinobu a lot, so for his Burgeon team, I will place him in the A tier. Next up is the best free character ever in my opinion. Xiangling is amazing even when she is C0, but her C1 and C4 are great for boosting her own damage. Her C1 allows her to reduce enemies' pyro resistance by 15% when hit by Guoba for 6 seconds, and her C4 increases her pyro nado duration by 40% and making its duration 40 seconds, which is also 70% uptime on her burst. Her C6 is also great, but some people make a mistake and think that it also buffs her own damage, but no, when she uses her burst with C6, she only buffs other characters' pyro damage by 15%. I will place Xiangling in S tier. Xinyan. She's got a very confusing kit. She has a constellation that makes her physical damage always crit, and then she can also infuse herself with Pyro. I don't really get what Hoyo is trying to do with Xinyan. I cannot see her being any better than a C tier character right now. Sorry Xinyan mains, but it is what it is. Yanfei on the other hand makes a lot of sense. What you want to do is build her DPS, do a couple of normal attacks, and then a charge attack, following that with your elemental skill, and then another charge attack, and your burst, and then another charge attack. It's pretty much just a muscle memory. She also has a very niche and weird build called Tank Fei. Because of her C4 that gives her shield based on her HP, but I don't really recommend that. Her best team at the moment is a Vaporize plus Virgin team, which usually includes Nahida, Yelan, Zhongli, or Seichao. Dendro kind of saved her, so I will place her in the A tier. And last but not least, Yoimiya. She is one of the best single target DPS in the game in my opinion. Her second constellation also allows her to deal even more damage whenever her pyro damage scores a crit hit. Then she will gain additional 25% pyro damage bonus. I see people melting bosses in seconds, so I will place Yoimiya in S tier. Well, that's it for this video guys. As always, thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Goodbye guys. Have a great one.